It's time now to review headlines of today's newspapers. And of course, we're going to be doing this with my co-host, Mr. Steve Ayoni.
All right, thank you, Sheita. We'll go right into it. It's this day we're starting with, as always. And I think we should start from the very top, from the news that is trending, to borrow Ojinika's term, Ojinix. Emefiele suspended, shouldn't be appointed acting CBN governor. Emefiele calm at home, reviewing handover note. And I think that this is an important, story from this day because of the rumors here and there on the social media that has been picked up by the DSS, has been these days reporting here that he's calm at home and is reviewing his handover note. And by the way, it's a suspension. We'll see, like you reminded me when we were doing the week that was, we'll see how, how this pans out. But it's clear from the body language of the men around the president that it doesn't look like this is a man that they would like to work with. And after 9 years in the SADU, I think that he should do well reviewing his handover notes and then moving on. But of course, if there are allegations against you, it's only proper that the authorities should look carefully, and do that which is needful. Under that story, KPMG, FG's target of 6% annual GDP growth not feasible. That's on page 5 of this day. I think that's a direct message, not just to the president who made that comment, but also to his team that will be assembled before 60 days, particularly those who will be in charge of the economy. It is good to say nice words to the people, but then be realistic. 6% KPMG is saying will not be very feasible or realistic. Yet another Stripe story there, headline says Polaris Bank appoints 2 new executive directors, also on page 5 of today's newspaper. And under that, NLC TUC asks court to vacate order, stopping strike, claim federal government suppressed material facts, misled judge. I think this is an important thing for the unions to do, given the fact that, they are discussing with the federal government. They have suspended the strike till 19th of June. I don't think that we can have in perpetuity a law banning, stopping the strike. Workers have the right to protest if they think that a policy will not favor them on the long run, no matter how beautiful that policy might be. And of course, to the big story, which is the lead story of today's this day, Tinubu, we can't continue as Father Christmas to other countries with subsidized petrol. Insists subsidy was removed so that Nigeria won't collapse. Use traditional rulers to actualize your plan. Sultan Oni of Ife, urge president. I mean, we can't say this, enough. We can't overemphasize it. It is good to remove subsidy, and Nigeria cannot afford it, but that cannot be the only story. What happens, because if you say that Nigeria can't survive without it, there are other things that Nigeria can survive without. Nigeria can survive, for example, without the crude theft that is going on in the Niger Delta, which is bigger than the amount that we have paid on subsidy. Nigeria can survive with the amount of money in trillions that we are pumping into turnaround maintenance of those 4 refineries that we can't fix. Nigeria can't survive without that. We can't survive without waivers in trillions being granted to a few untouchables in the business world. Ways and means in trillions that has never happened before in this country. Nigeria can't survive without them. Not to talk of the cost of governance. Cost of governance at the federal and at the state level. Those are the things that this government will need to look at. Not just to isolate subsidies that Nigerians are ordinarily ought to enjoy, if our refineries were working, or if there's no corruption, if there's no endemic corruption in how it is being managed. I think it is self-indicting to keep saying that we are doing Father Christmas to other people. Whose job is it supposed to be, by the way? to check how these things are going out or how our crude oil, has been stolen. So it can be one story. But I like the fact that at least the president is meeting with different stakeholders. Definitely. He met with the traditional rulers, and we can see the picture here, the Sultan and the Oni of Ife. And by the way, Oni of Ife was trying to send a message to the president, at that meeting where he says, Mr. President, make use of us. Make use of us. He said that 3 times. And I'm like, in what capacity? Is he as a minister or as what? But there you have it. Last but not the least, police raid ex-governor Matawale's residence, recover vehicles. I think about 11 or so of them have been recovered.
Very interesting.
Any other
very quickly, if you can just look at the Saturday Tribune, the lead story there says Tinubu probes Emefiele, places him on suspension. Further down, we see on subsidy removal, Makinde orders release of more buses, rolls out other palliatives. Yeah. We're seeing a lot more governors being more proactive. Yeah. And then, of course, the fuel price hike, we may have to increase school fees, says private school owners. So everything that we're seeing here is the effects of fuel subsidy on modern day Nigerians. But
absolutely. We have to go, Sheito. But just before we go, just to make you happy, Saturday Vanguard says more knocks, Lagos anti-ethnic laws, more knocks on Speaker Mudashiru. But like I said earlier, there is no law yet. It's an intention. So engage creatively, and then we know how that will pan out.